Before we dive into the profound wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, take a moment to reflect on your journey toward becoming your strongest self. If you're here to master the art of self-discipline and unlock your true potential, you're in the right place. Every week, we delve deep into the teachings that have stood the test of time, offering insights that can transform your life. So if you find value in the pursuit of wisdom, in cultivating an unbreakable spirit, hit that like button and subscribe. Join a community dedicated to embracing fortitude and living with purpose. Your journey starts now. 10 important insights for self-discipline from Marcus Aurelius. In the quiet recesses of our minds, where chaos often seeks to take root, we find the seeds of true discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, has left us a roadmap, a set of profound insights that guide us towards self-mastery. These are not mere reflections, but weapons against the relentless assault of our own undisciplined thoughts. Together we will uncover these truths, and in doing so, we will arm ourselves for the battle against our own destructive impulses. 1. Understand the power of your own mind. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, repeatedly reminds us of the immense influence our thoughts have over our lives, when he says, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." He's highlighting a truth that too many overlook. What happens in the external world is secondary to how we perceive it. Our internal dialogue, the way we interpret events, shapes our reality far more than the events themselves. Consider this: we often dwell on problems, replaying them in our minds, letting them fester and grow. The problem itself may be minor, but through our thoughts, we amplify its significance. It becomes a source of frustration, anxiety, and even fear. This is where discipline must be applied, discipline of the mind. If we allow ourselves to be at the mercy of uncontrolled thoughts, we surrender control over our emotions and actions. Marcus reminds us that thoughts can either be our greatest strength or our greatest weakness. If we allow negative thoughts to take root, they will erode our self-discipline and lead us down a path of self-doubt and despair. But if we cultivate positive, empowering thoughts, we gain mastery over ourselves. We become impervious to external events and more capable of facing adversity with strength. The first and most important step in achieving self-discipline is realizing that the mind is where the battle is won or lost. To put it simply, self-discipline begins with mental clarity. We must train our minds to focus on what is within our control, let go of destructive thoughts, and consistently reinforce beliefs that lead us toward growth and resilience. When we master our thoughts, we master our lives. 2. Accept the world as it is. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This is a key insight into one of the most profound teachings of Stoicism, the acceptance of reality. So much of our suffering comes from resisting what we cannot change. We feel anger, frustration, or disappointment when things don't go as we expect. But what Marcus teaches us is that the world doesn't conform to our desires, and it never will. Life will present us with challenges, losses, and injustices, many of which are beyond our control. What is within our control, however, is how we respond to these events. True discipline lies in this response. When we accept the world as it is, we let go of the futile struggle to change what cannot be changed. This doesn't mean we resign ourselves to passivity. On the contrary, we act with full awareness of what is in our control and focus our energy on that alone. By doing this, we conserve our mental and emotional strength. We no longer waste time or energy on pointless resistance, and instead, we channel our efforts into what we can change: our own actions, reactions, and mindset. Imagine the immense mental clarity that comes with this realization. The frustration we experience from external circumstances, whether it's people, events, or challenges, becomes irrelevant when we understand that they are not under our control. Instead of being thrown off course by what happens around us, we remain steady, focused, and disciplined. This principle of acceptance doesn't just apply to the major crises in life, but also to everyday inconveniences. Whether it's a missed opportunity, a disagreement, or an unexpected obstacle, we remind ourselves this is the nature of the world. I cannot change it, but I can choose how I react to it. In choosing acceptance, we practice the highest form of discipline, emotional resilience, and inner peace. In sum, acceptance is not about surrendering to fate, but rather about aligning with reality and using our energy where it truly matters. When we accept the world as it is, we take control of ourselves, and in that self-control, we find strength. This is the essence of Stoicism, mastering ourselves in an uncontrollable world. 3. Practice the art of indifference. Marcus Aurelius offers us a powerful insight when he says, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This statement cuts to the heart of one of Stoicism's most liberating practices, the art of indifference. Indifference, in the Stoic sense, does not mean apathy or a lack of concern. Instead, it means training ourselves to distinguish between what truly matters and what is trivial, between what we can control and what we cannot. It is the ability to remain unmoved by things that do not contribute to our moral character or our pursuit of virtue. Consider how often we allow external events, things beyond our control, to disturb our inner peace. A harsh word from a colleague, a minor setback in our plans, an unexpected delay, these are all things that can easily derail us if we let them. But Marcus Aurelius teaches us that these things only have the power to affect us if we allow them to. Our distress is not caused by the events themselves, but by the importance we assign to them. The art of indifference is about consciously choosing not to give power to things that do not deserve it. We practice this by mentally categorizing events as either important or unimportant, within our control or outside of it. When something falls into the latter categories, unimportant and outside our control, we must learn to remain indifferent. This doesn't mean we don't care, it means we prioritize our energy and focus on what truly matters: our character, our actions, and our thoughts. Indifference is a shield against the constant barrage of distractions and disturbances that life throws at us. By mastering this art, we can maintain our composure, stay focused on our goals, and preserve our mental and emotional energy for what truly deserves it. This is not a cold detachment, but a disciplined way of living that frees us from the tyranny of the trivial. In essence, practicing the art of indifference is about reclaiming our power. We stop being at the mercy of every external event and start living with intention, guided by what we know to be truly important. In doing so, we strengthen our discipline, our resolve, and our inner peace. 4. Embrace the struggle. Marcus Aurelius' words, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way," are more than a philosophical musing, they are a battle cry for those of us on the path of self-discipline. These words embody the Stoic belief that challenges and obstacles are not merely to be endured, but embraced as essential components of our growth. Life, as we all know, is fraught with difficulties. Whether it's personal setbacks, professional challenges, or internal struggles, obstacles are an inevitable part of our journey. But where many see these as hindrances, Marcus teaches us to see them as opportunities. Every challenge, every obstacle is a chance to practice and strengthen our discipline. Embracing the struggle means recognizing that it is through adversity that we develop resilience. When we face difficulties, we are forced to draw on our inner resources, our patience, our strength, our determination. These are the very qualities that define self-discipline. Without challenges, these qualities remain dormant, untested, and undeveloped. Think of it this way: a muscle only grows stronger when it is pushed beyond its comfort zone, when it is challenged by resistance. The same is true for our character. When we encounter obstacles, we have a choice: we can view them as insurmountable barriers, or we can see them as the very things that will shape us into stronger, more disciplined individuals. This perspective is not about glorifying suffering, but about finding purpose in struggle. When we embrace challenges, we transform them from something to be feared into something to be valued. Each struggle becomes a stepping stone on our path to greater discipline and self-mastery. Instead of avoiding difficulty, we learn to seek it out, knowing that it is in these moments that we grow the most. Moreover, embracing the struggle cultivates a mindset of resilience. It teaches us that no matter how great the challenge, we have the capacity to overcome it. This belief in our own strength is crucial for self-discipline. When we face future challenges, we can draw on the knowledge that we have overcome before and will do so again. In summary, embracing the struggle is about shifting our perspective on challenges. It's about seeing every difficulty as an opportunity to grow, to strengthen our discipline, and to forge a character that is unbreakable. When we adopt this mindset, we no longer fear obstacles. Instead, we welcome them as necessary trials on the path to becoming our best selves. 5. Master your emotions. Marcus Aurelius writes, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." This statement reveals a fundamental truth about the relationship between emotions and self-discipline. Emotions, when left unchecked, have the power to derail even the most determined individuals. However, when we master our emotions, we unlock a wellspring of inner strength that is essential for true discipline. Mastering your emotions does not mean suppressing or ignoring them. Emotions are a natural part of the human experience. They inform us of our needs, desires, and reactions. However, they can also cloud our judgment and lead us to act in ways that are contrary to our values and goals. The Stoics understood this well and taught that emotions should be observed and understood, not allowed to control our actions. To master our emotions is to develop the ability to pause before reacting, to examine the emotion we are feeling, and to choose a response that aligns with our values and long-term goals. This process requires self-awareness, patience, and practice. It is not about denying our emotions, but about managing them with wisdom and clarity. By mastering our emotions, we become less reactive and more proactive. We stop being driven by impulse and start living with intention. This mastery gives us the power to remain focused on our purpose, to act in ways that are consistent with our principles, and to maintain our discipline even in challenging situations. In this way, mastering our emotions is not just about self-control, it is about self-empowerment. When we achieve this level of emotional mastery, we find that our actions are more deliberate, our decisions more thoughtful, and our lives more aligned with our true desires. We become the architects of our destiny, rather than being at the mercy of fleeting feelings. This is the essence of Stoic discipline: to live with a mind that is calm, clear, and committed to the pursuit of virtue. 6. Live with purpose. Marcus Aurelius urges us to do every act of your life as though it were the last act of your life. This is not a call to reckless abandon, but a profound reminder of the fleeting nature of time and the importance of living with intention and purpose. To live with purpose is to infuse every moment with meaning, to approach each day with the knowledge that our time is limited, and to ensure that our actions are aligned with our highest values. Living with purpose means recognizing that each decision we make, each action we take, shapes the course of our lives. It is about being mindful of how we spend our time, who we spend it with, and what we choose to focus on. Purpose is the driving force behind discipline. Without a clear sense of purpose, discipline becomes an empty exercise, a series of rigid routines without deeper meaning. For Marcus Aurelius, living with purpose was about living in accordance with nature, fulfilling the roles and responsibilities that life has placed before us with integrity and dedication. This means understanding our duties not just to ourselves, but to others, to society, and to the world at large. It means striving to be the best version of ourselves in whatever circumstances we find ourselves, not for the sake of recognition or reward, but because it is the right thing to do. purpose provides direction. It gives us something to strive for, something that makes the challenges and hardships of life worth enduring. When we are clear about our purpose, we find that discipline comes more naturally. We are motivated to make the necessary sacrifices, to push through discomfort, and to remain focused on our goals because we understand the greater significance behind our actions. Purpose also serves as a guiding star in times of uncertainty or temptation. When faced with distractions or the lure of short-term pleasures, a strong sense of purpose reminds us of what is truly important. It helps us to stay on course, to resist the pull of instant gratification, and to remain committed to our long-term goals. To live with purpose is to approach life with a sense of urgency and significance. It is about recognizing that our time on this earth is finite and that every moment is an opportunity to move closer to our true potential. It is a call to live fully, to engage deeply with the world, and to leave behind a legacy of meaningful actions. In living with purpose, we transform our lives from a series of random events into a coherent, purposeful journey. We wake up each day with a clear sense of what we are working toward, and this clarity fuels our discipline. It gives us the strength to overcome obstacles, to stay true to our values, and to make the most of the time we have. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, to live not just with discipline, but with a deep, abiding purpose that guides every aspect of our lives. 7. Cultivate inner fortitude. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This statement reflects the Stoic belief that true strength, or fortitude, is not found in physical might or external circumstances, but in the resilience and stability of our inner selves. Cultivating inner fortitude means developing an unshakable core that remains steadfast in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Inner fortitude is the mental and emotional strength that allows us to endure adversity without losing our sense of purpose or direction. It is the ability to stand firm when the world around us is in chaos, to keep our composure when others falter, and to maintain our principles even under pressure. This strength is not given to us, it is something we must actively cultivate through discipline, reflection, and consistent practice. To build this fortitude, we must first confront and understand our fears, weaknesses, and vulnerabilities. Marcus Aurelius advises us to prepare ourselves mentally for the challenges we will face, to anticipate the difficulties of life rather than be surprised by them. By doing so, we strengthen our resolve and reduce the power that fear and uncertainty have over us. Inner fortitude is also developed through the daily practice of enduring small discomforts and challenges. Whether it's resisting the urge to indulge in a fleeting pleasure, facing a difficult conversation, or pushing ourselves to complete a task we find tedious, these small acts of discipline build our capacity for greater challenges. Each time we overcome a minor difficulty, we add to our store of inner strength. Moreover, inner fortitude involves a deep commitment to our values and principles, even when it is inconvenient or difficult to uphold them. It is the courage to remain true to ourselves, to act with integrity, and to persevere in the pursuit of what we know to be right. This unwavering commitment forms the backbone of self-discipline, enabling us to stay the course even when external circumstances become overwhelming. In essence, cultivating inner fortitude is about developing a rock-solid core of resilience and strength. It is about being unyielding in the face of adversity, maintaining our composure and focus regardless of external pressures. This inner fortitude empowers us to navigate life's challenges with grace and determination, ensuring that we remain on the path of self-discipline and virtue. 8. Seek wisdom over pleasure. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This reflects a central tenet of Stoicism, the pursuit of wisdom and virtue over transient pleasures. In a world that often prioritizes immediate gratification and sensory indulgence, seeking wisdom over pleasure is a radical, yet profoundly fulfilling, approach to life. Pleasure, in its many forms, whether it's physical indulgence, comfort, or the pursuit of status, can be alluring and addictive. It offers immediate satisfaction but often leaves us empty and unfulfilled in the long run. The Stoics recognized that the relentless pursuit of pleasure can lead to a shallow and disordered life, one that is driven more by base desires than by reason or virtue. Marcus Aurelius cautions us against letting these fleeting pleasures dominate our thoughts and actions, for they can easily lead us away from our true purpose. Wisdom, on the other hand, is enduring. It is the knowledge and understanding that guide us toward a life of virtue, integrity, and meaning. Seeking wisdom means prioritizing long-term growth and fulfillment over short-term satisfaction. It involves making choices that may not provide immediate pleasure but contribute to our overall well-being and the betterment of our character. The pursuit of wisdom requires us to question our desires, to ask ourselves whether what we seek is truly beneficial or merely a distraction. It calls us to develop a deeper understanding of what it means to live a good life, one that is not dictated by external circumstances but by internal values. In seeking wisdom, we become less concerned with what we can acquire or consume and more focused on how we can grow and contribute. Choosing wisdom over pleasure also means embracing the discomforts that come with self-discipline. It means being willing to sacrifice temporary pleasures for the sake of long-term goals, to endure hardships in the pursuit of knowledge and virtue, and to remain committed to our principles even when it is difficult. This choice is not always easy, but it is essential for developing a life of true fulfillment and meaning. Moreover, wisdom teaches us to recognize the transient nature of pleasure. The satisfaction it offers is fleeting, while the fulfillment that comes from living a life aligned with wisdom and virtue is lasting. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that true happiness comes not from indulging our desires but from mastering them, from living a life guided by reason and purpose. In summary, seeking wisdom over pleasure is about choosing the path of long-term fulfillment over short-term gratification. It is about prioritizing growth, understanding, and virtue over fleeting desires. By making this choice, we cultivate a deeper, more enduring sense of satisfaction and live a life that is not only disciplined but also rich in meaning and purpose. This is the essence of Stoic living: to seek wisdom in all things, and to let that wisdom guide our every thought, action, and decision. 9. Be mindful of time. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to throw away. Death stands at your elbow. Be good for something while you live, and it is in your power." These words are a stark reminder of the fleeting nature of time and the importance of being mindful of how we use it. Being mindful of time is not just about managing our schedule or productivity. It's about recognizing the profound value of each moment and ensuring that we live with intention and purpose. Time is the most precious resource we have once spent. It can never be reclaimed. Yet many of us fall into the trap of wasting time on trivial pursuits, distractions, and unimportant tasks, assuming we have endless days ahead to achieve our goals and live our lives fully. Marcus Aurelius challenges us to see time for what it truly is: a finite, irreplaceable asset that deserves our utmost respect and careful stewardship. To be mindful of time means to live with a sense of urgency, not in a frantic or anxious way, but with a deep awareness that each day is a gift, an opportunity to move closer to our true purpose. This mindfulness requires us to evaluate how we spend our time. Are we dedicating it to activities that align with our values and goals, or are we letting it slip away on things that do not matter? It also calls us to be present in each moment, to fully engage with whatever we are doing rather than letting our minds wander or becoming lost in distractions. When we are mindful of time, we focus on what is truly important, whether it's working toward our personal or professional goals, nurturing relationships, or simply being present and appreciating the beauty of the moment. Being mindful of time also means recognizing and respecting the time of others. We understand that everyone's time is valuable, and we strive to use it wisely, both for ourselves and in our interactions with others. This mindfulness fosters a sense of purpose and urgency that drives us to make the most of our lives, to live each day with meaning, and to ensure that we are contributing something of value to the world. In essence, being mindful of time is about living with intention. It's about prioritizing what truly matters and making conscious choices that reflect our deepest values and desires. When we live with this awareness, we ensure that we do not waste the precious time we have been given, but instead use it to create a life that is rich in purpose and fulfillment. 10. Embrace mortality. Marcus Aurelius also reminds us you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This reflection on mortality is one of the most profound aspects of Stoic philosophy. Embracing mortality is not about dwelling on death in a morbid sense, but about using the awareness of our mortality as a tool to live more fully and authentically. The Stoics believe that contemplating our mortality, known as memento mori, helps us to clarify our priorities, sharpen our focus, and eliminate the trivial concerns that often consume our thoughts. When we remember that our time is limited, we are less likely to waste it on things that do not matter. Instead, we become more focused on what is truly important, living in accordance with our values, fostering meaningful relationships, and contributing something of lasting value to the world. Embracing mortality also encourages us to live with courage and integrity. When we accept that death is an inevitable part of life, we are less likely to be driven by fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown. This acceptance frees us to take risks, to speak our truth, and to pursue our goals with a sense of urgency and passion. We realize that life is too short to be spent in mediocrity or complacency, and this realization drives us to live with greater purpose and intensity. Moreover, the awareness of our mortality fosters a deep appreciation for life itself. We begin to see each day as a gift, each experience as something to be treasured. This perspective helps us to live more mindfully, to savor the small joys of life, and to approach each moment with gratitude. We become more present, more connected to the people around us, and more committed to living in a way that reflects our true selves. Embracing mortality also helps us to put our problems into perspective. When we recognize that life is short, many of the worries and anxieties that typically occupy our minds lose their power over us. We realize that much of what we stress about is inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, and this realization allows us to let go of unnecessary burdens and focus on what truly matters. In summary, embracing mortality is about living with a heightened sense of awareness and purpose. It's about recognizing that our time is limited and that we must make the most of it. By keeping our mortality in mind, we are inspired to live with greater courage, integrity, and appreciation. We are reminded that life is not something to be taken for granted, but something to be lived fully, deeply, and with a profound sense of purpose. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom: to live each day as if it were our last, and to do so with grace, humility, and an unwavering commitment to what truly matters. These 10 insights are more than just words, they are a call to action. Marcus Aurelius has given us the tools we need to forge a disciplined life, one marked by strength, purpose, and inner peace. We must take up these tools, wield them with resolve, and in doing so, overcome the destructive emotions that threaten to derail us. Together, we can build the fortitude needed to navigate the challenges of life, to live with wisdom, and to achieve true mastery over ourselves. Let us walk this path with the knowledge that we are not alone. The wisdom of the Stoics is our guide, and the strength of our will is our weapon. Together, we can cultivate the discipline that will lead us to greatness.